Yo, what's up you guys, and welcome to this year's Loadouts 2022. So as you guys know, annually each and every year, I like to do a Loadouts video where I basically just show you guys my cosmetics for each and every class. I go through A through D, Scout to Spy, and just give you guys some different ideas of looks you can put together. Just something that when you kill the enemy player, they look back at you and they go, wow, that guy must be really cool, but I still hate that guy and I'm gonna get him back. You know, whatever. But anyways, I've got some pretty unique looks this year from last year. There are still some duplicates, but I got some cool stuff this year, so I'm pretty stoked to show you guys. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and start with the Scout. So, the Scout, as you guys know, if you've been following my channel for a while, if you watch my streams, I'm pretty awful at the Scout. It is probably one of my worst classes, so why not go ahead and make my first look for him a Jester, because this is what people think of when they see me play the Scout. They point and laugh like a Jester, because I'm horrible at the Scout. So, but no, in all seriousness, the Seasonal Employee was one of the only cosmetics I really liked from the Smith collection this year. So I went ahead and kind of finished off this Jester look for the Scout, and it jingles, it's pretty loud, it's pretty obnoxious, like the Scout, so I thought this was all kind of fitting. Moving on to B, I've just kind of got this, I don't know, like maybe Italian or maybe, I don't know, like a jersey look for the Scout. I'm not quite sure what I was going for here, but it's a cool look, it's a decent look. I don't know why in the world I have the sword with it. That must have been from a leftover look that I made. But C, now this was one I really liked. The Goalkeeper was a great cosmetic for this year's Halloween cosmetic cases. And I threw together kind of like this Jason kind of skateboarder look for the Scout. But I really liked it. It's kind of intimidating and cool at the same time. So I've had that for pretty much since October. And on to D. I don't really know what this is, to be honest with you, but when I threw this together, I was like, man, this looks like a cool character. Like, this looks like this belongs in a show or something. Like, it looks like it would be like a main character, and they'd be looking for like gold or a rune or something, some kind of adventure character. And I'm sure you guys can name off somebody that this looks like from a show or something, but I couldn't quite place my finger on it, but I like it, so I kept it. Anyways, moving on now to the Soldier. Now, this is usually always where I would keep my pirate loadout, but I finally decided to change it this year because I really liked the Roman we got, and I kind of made like, you know, like this like Centurion kind of look for the Soldier. And I finally got myself an Australian rocket launcher again. I have missed having one of these, man, and they are sick and so fun to use. It really makes just playing with the Soldier again a lot of fun, and I've been really getting a lot into Soldier this year just in general, just because I've been falling more and more in love with rocket jumping and just playing you know, a different class more often. So I gotta say, it's been a fun year for Soldier. At least last year was a fun year for Soldier. Moving on to B. So when we got the Handsome Devil, I liked the look. And I don't know what this is supposed to be. It kind of reminds me of that mask from like Crash Bandicoot, you know, the mask that goes like hooga booga, like so I threw that together, and it's just kind of like this wild beast look for the Soldier. I really liked it, so I've kept it since. Moving on to C, this is just a monkey loadout, because when we got the poopy dough, I really liked it. I think I did a whole stream like based off of this look specifically when they released the poopy dough, and I was just like, it's ape time, it's monkey time, let's go, it's banana time. So I've literally got a coconut gun, I've got the banana nades, all these things to go with it. And if they ever release some sort of other like fur cosmetic I can use with this loadout, I'll probably use that instead of the tipped lid. And then lastly, onto the D slot, it's Batman. That really needs no further explanation. It's Batman. Whatever. On to the Pyro loadout. Now, Pyro, as I've said before, year after year, is usually some of the coolest cosmetic loadouts you can get, as well as the Demo Man. But so this year, I went with, for A slot, I went with kind of like this biker, I don't know, like almost like Ghost Rider look for the Pyro. And, you know, this isn't anything like mind-blowing, but the whole reason I did it was because we got this cosmetic recently this year. So it just really went with it. It's so cool having like a low brim hat, having like the Ghost Rider look, the jacket and everything to go with this specific. That's pretty much why I did it. Moving on to B. Kind of like this samurai look. I forget how old this cosmetic is. This is either like a year or two old now, but I basically threw this together with the firefighter and made like kind of like just this cool samurai type look for the pyro. And I typically always use this loadout. I'm not a great pyro, so I tend to go with like the same play style every time that I do it. And Scorch Shot, Power Jack to go fast, and the Flog. And yeah, I'm a fast attacking in your face style pyro. Moving on to C. I went back with the haunted type of clown look. I don't know if you call it haunted, but certainly spooky, certainly unsettling. I like to use this and do like, you know, certain taunts and spawn just to make people look at me and be like, wow, this is a very just mentally deranged pyro clown. You know, you can do the party trick, whatever it is, just make people uncomfortable. And lastly, I've got my D loadout for the pyro, which is the Wandering Wraith style loadout. So basically, this is one of the sickest cosmetics we got this year, in my opinion, or last year, I should say, for the pyro, was the Wandering Wraith. This really should have been like the top tier, in my opinion, but they made it assassin grade. But anyways, it was a sick cosmetic. I threw that together with the Bondelier and the Coffin Kit. And this was kind of a look that I already had going before without the Wandering Wraith, so once you add that in, it's just an insane loadout. Somebody even donated me stuff like this, which I could use and have full skulls all the way, but normally, like I told you guys, I just stick with my normal Phlogistonnator loadout, so that is what it is. Alright, moving on to the Demo Man. This is my normal pirate loadout. I liked going with the pirate bandana again, and I wasn't seeing that too much in game, and it really is a cool look to me. But one of the only things I've been switching up recently is I've been making this my sticky jumper loadout, because when I'm on certain maps, I will use this to basically shoot over the other team and try to go to their spawn and kill their teleporter. Most people do this like on, say, Badwater and stuff like that, and when you start doing that play, it's so addicting and so fun that I just like made a whole dedicated slot to it now. Moving on to loadout B. This is a clipped and broken loadout, but it is just one of my favorite spooky looks for the demo. I love it. I'm hoping someday they'll fix the clipping between the Death Stare and the Voodoo Juju, because it's just such a cool look. So here's to hoping they someday do something with it, but until then, I'm just determined to keep it. It just looks so cool. Moving on to loadout C, the King loadout, the King Demo Night loadout. This is a classic. A lot of people have this loadout. It just looks so good. I mean, honestly, normally I would use the Tide Turn rather than the Charge and Targe, but it just goes with the look so well, I just figured just keep it, because I don't play Demo Night that often anyways. And this year I actually did manage to get myself a Strange Australian Islander, which definitely goes with the look for the King, the gold sword. And by the way, if you guys ever wonder how I get my Australiums all gold like this, it's because I turn Matte Thong off. So Matte Thong is normally set to 1 in your settings, but if you go and change that to 0, it does make the Australiums all gold. So it's just a very cool look for a lot of different classes and while you're playing the game. And lastly, my Samurai loadout. I've had this year after year. There's just certain classic loadouts that I make that I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ever going to change this, just because I end up liking them so much. And this is definitely one of them. It's just such a good look, so I keep this one year after year. Maybe you could add that to it, though. Yeah, it would be pretty sick. All right, moving on to the heavy. Now, I know some of you guys have definitely been waiting for this. I tend to keep the same Big Joey loadout, but I did get some new stuff this year. I think you guys will be excited to see it. So, let's start off with loadout A. So, normally I don't keep my Halloween cosmetics in, but this year we just had such a sick rollout of cosmetics for Halloween that I just decided to keep a lot of them in here. So this was my Spooktober Joey. I bring this one out pretty much year after year, but this year we got the Creepy Crawlers, which I added with it, and I think this is probably gonna be like my Spooktober Joey, possibly forever, unless they add a better third cosmetic. But I just really liked this look with the spiders. This just looks so creepy. And then I got myself a new unusual gun, a new unusual Tomislav, which I was really stoked about. I named it the Sandworm. And it's basically a Crawl Space Critters war paint with isotope added to it. I think a professional effect as well. Yeah, the eyes glow green and do a tornado effect. So this was just sick. And if you're going to do like a haunted kind of, you know, Joey look, you might as well add the bread in You know, just instead of having the regular Gru, have some monster breads biting at your hands and at your face while you're running around with this class. I just thought this was sick, and I've really enjoyed it, so I figured why change it. Moving on to B. Now this is a look I've already had before. I've got my Beetlejuice minigun, which was a tiger buffed war paint, but the kind of variant version of it where it's white and black rather than the orange and black, and then the isotope effect. And then just my regular, you know, the white Russian with the gray bands with the combat slacks rather than the jungle booty for this specific one. And then between my different slots, I'll either switch this off from the Gru to the Fist of Steel or the Fist of Steel back to the Gru. And it's just because I'm in this state of indecision where I love them both so much and they both have such crazy good effects to using them in game. So it's kind of like, depending on what map I'm on or how I'm feeling, I'll switch these off. But anyways, on to loadout C. This is my Zeus loadout. Some of you guys know this very well, that I've had this for about a year now when somebody actually gifted me one of my Dream Unusuals, the Sunbeams White Russian. And this year, I actually finally got myself another Australian minigun. You know, I've had one of these before, but stuff happens. You sell items, you know. But, man, I missed this, and so I ended up getting it back this year, and I'm super stoked about it because I do believe that the Tomislav is still the best minigun for the heavy, but honestly, depending on what map you're on, or depending on what even part of the map you're on, you might want to switch back to different guns. And so when I do want to switch to a regular stock minigun, it's nice to be able to kind of switch from one to another and just already have it ready. So depending on what map I'm on or what part of the map I'm on, I will switch back to this class, and it's my Zeus loadout, and it's just so fun to pull out. And lastly, the good old-fashioned Big Joey. I haven't been using the jungle booty as much lately, so I think I've been switching more to the combat slacks look. But you guys know it very well. It's the White Russian with the vivid plasma, strange, one of one. Still very excited that somebody gave me that and that it was just a one of one. I've never seen another one of them. And the Zeus's Acrimony, you know, it's kind of like it's just prestige at this point. It's gone past 100,000. We're now at 113,000 kills on this thing. I don't know where I'm going with this thing. It's just picking up kills still to this day. Maybe I can finally retire it once the scouts there reach 10,000 as well. The spies are over 10,000. The heavies are over 10,000. Scouts should reach it too at some point. And so anyways, those are all my heavy looks. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Next, on to the engineer. So you guys know this. Do it to him. I had to do it to him. Had to make the gnome NG look. This was again one of the only cosmetics that I liked for the Smithsmiths cosmetics loadouts this year, but man, when you switch this between the 4 different looks, you can really make some funny stuff. And I think I originally saw Bird, the YouTuber Bird, put together a look like this, and then I was like, that's hilarious. I gotta make a gnome loadout for the NG. So that's what this is. Moving on to B, I normally have a lot of like robotic or futuristic type looks for the engineer, and this year, you know, I've been using the Iron Lung forever, but we did get some different looks, so I put together the Wavefinder and the Sightliner this year with this, as well as the Gunslinger. Normally, for my engineer, I'll either use like a very fast, in-your-face type loadout. So like if I'm going to use the Gunslinger so I can put down a minigun quick, I'll use the Panic Attack as well so I can get in people's faces, and maybe the Short Circuit so I can get rid of some projectiles coming at me. Or I tend to go with the, I'm going to lay down like a big level 3 sentry style loadout. I'll have the Rescue Ranger, the Wrangler, and I might use that to propel myself somewhere else on the map with my level 3 sentry. But those are basically the type of weapon loadouts I use for my engineer. Moving on to loadout C. Just kind of a different look, kind of like a mad scientist, but also still kind of robotic, almost like futuristic style look for the engineer. I just really liked when I got the googly gazer, and I put that together with the virtual reality headset and made this look. And it's even cooler if you put like this wrench with it specifically. So he just looks mad crazy, and I love it. And lastly, another Halloween loadout. We got the Computron, and I just thought that was such a sick look. So once I put that together with this, I was like, no, I don't even care if it's Halloween only. I'm keeping that. I'm just keeping that in the loadout slot for the rest of the year. So those are all my engineers. Moving on to the medic. Now, the medic is one that I don't change too often, and I don't play too often, so that's probably why. But this year, we did get a sick cosmetic, being the optic nerve. I put that together with the, I can't even pronounce that, the Das Fanzipatanza and the ruffled, man, I can't pronounce these, but I made like kind of this mad scientist look for the medic, and I really like it. I like the eyes wide open look. I like you can see his brain. It's just crazy to see this in game. Moving on to B, got kind of my space futuristic type look for the medic. This honestly, to me, I think when I first put this together, I was trying to replicate Mr. Freeze from Batman, and it kind of looks like that too. So it's just all a really cool look. You know what? It would even look better if you had like this, but if it could do like an ice beam, that would be Mr. Freeze for sure. Oh, on blue team, yeah, because the beam would be blue. That would make total sense. So yeah, then it's Mr. Freeze. All right, so moving on to my C loadout. This is kind of my vampire look, my vampire hunter look for the medic. I've had this one year after year. This is just another one of those classics that I keep. When you put it with the crossbow, it makes total sense. It just looks like a vampire hunter. And lastly, on to D. This is a new one. This is kind of like this Ebenezer Scrooge look that I managed to put together. And when I just finally did it, I was like, wow, that's cool looking. And then, of course, to, you know, cheer on the holiday spirit, you put together the Aussie Medigun, and it just looks that much better. I think that's such a cool look. So I'd probably use that year-round as well, whenever I finally do play Medic anyways. Moving on to the sniper loadouts. I've had this look before, kind of just this cloaked, creepy look for the sniper, but I had the hypno eyes with the actual hypno spinning effect on. But this year, recently, I decided to turn that off. I painted it white, and it's just this creepy look when you look back. It's just like this soulless, just who is this type sniper when you get shot by him and you see this in your kill cam. So I really enjoyed this look, and I started playing it a little bit more, getting a little bit better. So I finally actually got myself a kill streak upper hand. Just because I was enjoying playing sniper, just the little bits that I was on certain maps. Loadout B, this is another classic look that I kept, but instead of keeping the bandana look that I had with this, I switched off to the most dangerous man. Just kind of creating this kind of like, I don't know, more upper brow style sniper look. Just like this very, I don't know, not almost like pretentious or almost like just, I don't know, very, very uppity look for the sniper, but it's really cool. I really like it. Like top shelf hunter look. Onto loadout C. This is just the man's type sniper. Once we got more of these alligator skin looks for the sniper, I put all this together with, of course, the Darwin's Danger Shield to go with it. I would have done the alligator boots as well to go with this, but without the facial hair, the sniper just looks funny to me with this, so I decided to keep the cigarette and the facial hair for the sniper and then put this all together still. And then, of course, if he's going to be an outdoorsman, might as well give him the huntsman, too. So you got to have at least one huntsman loadout. You know, it's super fun to use as the sniper just for variety. And onto the last one. The Alablamicon was one that I was kind of like, I felt very meh about. But then when I put it together with this and it created kind of like this haunted, spooky look for the sniper, I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. So, yeah, I put that together with the Down Under Duster, the 5-month shadow, and I've really liked this look. And of course, if you want your haunted sniper look to be even more cursed, give him the self-wear beauty mark, because then in your loadouts, it is still broken. It still hangs completely behind the sniper. Valve has still not fixed this. It is hilarious and stupid and exists for no reason whatsoever. Anyways, moving on to my last loadouts, we are on to the Spy. So I went back to the classic this year, just kind of this mafioso style look for the Spy. I think this is always a great look. And the Dapper Disguise is just one of the best cosmetics to exist for the Spy. So I keep that year after year. Onto B. I have like kind of like this voodoo haunted magician type look for the Spy, and to really put that together, I put the Wanga prick with this one. It just looks crazy. And I've been switching up the way I play just a little bit. Like this year, I finally went back to I went to the Diamondback and tried that a little bit. And, you know, I'm just trying different stuff rather than just the old kunai and the same gun over and over, the L'Etranger. Moving on to loadout C. Now this one is new, and I was pretty proud of this one. We got the Gruesome Gourd this year and the Twisted Topper. And at first, I kind of didn't really care for either of these. And then when I put it together with this, I was like, that is sick, so I have kept it. And you could maybe, you know, paint this black if you wanted to even go more of the look, but it is just sinister looking and sick. When somebody gets killed by this and sees this in the kill cam, they gotta be like, what in the world is that thing? So I really like this look for the Spy on the couple occasions that I'll actually play Spy. And onto my last loadout. This is just kind of a very French look for the Spy. I don't play Spy too much, and when I do, sometimes I have good streaks, sometimes I get really frustrated by the hitboxes and I stop playing, but I do think that Spy has some really cosmetic looks as well, and so this was just one that I threw together just to kind of like have one more different standout look from the regular Spy that you'd see in game, from the regular edgy Spy made, you know, style looks. So just a very French look for the Spy. But anyways, I hope you guys liked this year's Loadouts video. I hope you guys were able to gather some ideas from this that you can put together, either just mine exactly or some of your own based off of these. And until next time, this was Big Joey. Later.